Assalamualaikum doktor. Okey.
Ya, Waalaikumsalam.
Tak doktor, tadi QR tu tak boleh nak scan. Okey, boleh dah.
Tak?
Asal ada noti tu.
Okey.
Okey, thank you doktor.
This one for section 7. This is section 8. This one section 13. Okay, done. Right. section 7. Okay, sekejap This is section 7. Kenapa ada 35 ni? 36. When you scan, you make sure you scan for your section. You can see here, section 7. So, baru you scan. Ni dah lebih-lebih ni 37. This is only for section 7. Ada lagi yang miss? Anyone miss to scan your section? This one section 8. Ada. This one section 13. Alright. Okay. Okay, previously we stopped at human resource. Ke organizational structure. Customer, organizational structure. Last we stop at departmentalization or chain of command?
Departmentalization.
Departmentalization, okay. So we continue for group 7, 8 or 9, chain of command.
Doktor Group 8.
Group 8, okay. Mana yang dah buat slide tu, you have to forward into WhatsApp group to share with your friends.
Can you see my slide, Doctor?
Can.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. I'm from Group 8 and I want to present chain of command. So firstly, the definition of the chain of command is the continuous line of authority that extends from upper levels of an organization to the lowest level of the organization and clarifies who reports to who. The purpose of this is in order to flow instruction downward and accountability upward by providing each level of workers with a supervisor. Then it also layouts the company lines of authority and decision-making power. So for the advantage and disadvantages of chain of command, the pros is we have more opportunities for the employees to climb the ladder and grow with the organization. After that, employee has their own set of responsibilities. Everyone is aware of what their job entails and what they have to do to meet the goals and help the company succeed. It also improves efficiency when communicating with workers.
Tak nampak you punya slide.
nampak ni.
Stop sharing again and reshare.
Okay, continue with the pros. It also improves the efficiency when communicating with workers and helps to improve workflow and adjusting their management methods. For the cons, it's prone to bureaucracy. It also a lack of collaboration across department, and red tape can also cause roadblock that slow innovation. Okay, that's all from us.
Okay, any question from the floor? Buka balik yang advantage dengan advantages tu.
Dah nampak.
Nampak. Okay, any question?
Hello. I have a question. What is meaning by the red tape?
Okay, good question. Okay.
Hakim.
Okay, I think I'll answer. So, by the meaning of red tape is that when a department has to come up with want to make a decision, they have to ask for their supervisor, and their supervisor also need to ask for the approval of their supervisor, the higher up. So there will be many process to ask. So before the decision can be approved. So that's what it means by the red tape that can cause slow innovation.
In layman word,
There's too many process lah. Too many approval need to be asked.
okay, any other question? Red tape mean the process should be very fast. We can do fast action, but it takes a longer process. It takes excessive process. A lot of processes we have to go through. So that is red tape. Any other question?
No, doctor.
Any question? Okay. Give one example for the chain of command.
One example, like at the company, they have the top managers. Basically, the top managers in charge of the company performance, and they also set the company goals. Then after top manager, we have the middle managers. It also responsible to achieve the objective from the top manager.
Okay.
And then it goes on like to the low.
Okay, the example in any organization that you know?
I think my company previous internship, they have the top manager, senior executive, and operator. The senior executive in charge of the operator, and the top manager only give the guide to the senior executive.
Okay, what if the operator report to senior executive?
Then senior executive will, if they can solve the problem, they solve. But if cannot, they will ask the advice to the manager, top manager.
Okay, if the operator direct to manager, what will happen?
I think that doesn't happen. But if
Sometimes it happen.
if it happen, the top manager will scold the senior executive. Think
Macam mana?
nanti top manager tu marah senior executive.
Kenapa dia marah?
Sebab dia tak solve the problem.
Okay. Okay, in some case, okay, sometimes it happen. For example, okay, you as a student, okay, and then normally student have to report to your apa kita panggil, academic advisor. But sometimes it's not happen kan. Student will report directly to associate academic, associate chair of academic. Sometimes it's direct to associate chair of academic. So have you heard about this? Have you heard any friends direct to associate chair of academic?
My friend not yet lah.
Not yet. Okay. Not happen yet. Okay. But sometimes it happens. So when associate chair knows about the problem, if he can solve, then he can solve. Because for UTM, the chain of command sometimes is not clearly it's not clear lah. Okay. But we as a staff, normally we follow the steps, we follow the hierarchy. So for lecturer, normally will direct to director, will report to director first, and then director discuss in academic meeting with associate chair of academic. But sometimes we have apa kita panggil student too aggressive students, okay, especially from overseas, from Middle East, okay. So they don't discuss directly with the lecturer, or they don't discuss with their academic advisor, and they just report to the HEP. Sometimes they put in the yang UTM confession. So when they put the report like that, and then the problem, it becomes bigger, because it seems like the lecturer's level or director level cannot solve the problem. Or maybe the students already report to director, but director didn't entertain him. So that is what the top manager, top management will see. So when it viral in the UTM confession, what they do is they're trying to solve, bring back the problem into the operational level, including lecturers and directors. So we try to solve it, to clean up all the mess, and then we feedback to the student. So that is happen in UTM. But sometimes in private company, because UTM is very kind to the student. Okay, in the company, okay, if the operator directly to the director of the company, So sometimes the director, if director knows the chain of command of the company is very clear, so they will fire back to the operator. They said, okay, you as a operator, you have to report to your superior, not me. Because for director level, they only will entertain the big problem, not the small problem that can be solved at the operational level. Okay. So that's why hati-hatilah after you graduate later, when you graduate and then work in the private company, so you have to know the chain of command. Who is your superior? So you try to discuss with your superior first, and then try to solve the problem at the operational level, not bring everything into management. Because sometimes kalau yang private ni, they know their boundary. Kalau UTM tak, UTM, okay, since a student have a problem, so we try to entertain the student to make sure student comfort, macam itulah. Because we are academician. Okay. Tapi kalau yang private, kalau if let's say you cross the borderline, then they won't entertain you. It means like you are not a good staff because you don't know who is your superior, except for the ethical problem. So if ethical problem, then you have to direct to the HR manager or HR exec. So they have a report. If let's say only for daily basis problems, so you have to solve with your superior. Okay. Alright. So we go for next one. Okay, unity of command. Yang ni missing in your slide. The concept that a person should have only one boss and should report only to that person. So we cannot have more than one boss. Okay. So that is the chain of command. Alright, next we go for span of control. Span of control, group 10, 11 or 12.
Hello. Hello. Boleh dengar tak?
Boleh.
Ni group sebelah.
Group 11, okay.
Boleh nampak slide?
Okay, sekejap ni Fahim sharing the slide. Which slide? Fahim? Which slide do you mean? Okay. The standard slide has been uploaded in your e-learning. So the extra extra slide and then extra information given by your colleagues, they will share in WhatsApp group. Because if they submit in e-learning, so it's difficult for me to download and then reshare again. Okay, next.
Group 11 Okay, my name is Ahmad Syahran Taufik from group 11. So our group need to discuss about the span of control. So what is the span of control is
Make it slideshow, Syairan.
slideshow ni.
Tak.
Hmm,
Sebelah dia.
ni.
Aha.
Share as whole window, share as satu tu je.
Tu yang sebelah.
Boleh nampak?
Tak nampak.
Tak nampak.
Share screen bukan share application.
Share as window semua sekali.
Okay,
If you work as an engineer nanti, every day you have to present.
sekarang okay.
Okay.
Dah nampak okey lah?
Okay.
Better.
Okay. Span of control is the number of people who report to one manager in a hierarchy. So, as example, this show a company which has the boss is the marketing manager, and then below him we will have marketing assistant, researcher, telesales supervisor, and customer care assistant. Okay, span of control ni span of control is the people under the control of one manager. The wider the span of control means more staff required for the company. So less span of control means a narrower uh, uh, less mean narrower span of control means less number of staff. Okay, so span of control is affected by uh, this factor. So span of control can be presented by the nature of the work, plans for the enterprise, ability and efficiency of the subordinate, availability of the staff, and organizational size. So this organization size, if let's say the company needs to control a region, let's say a district, so maybe the span of control focus on that district only. If the company control a global, so they need to get a staff to be able to control around the globe. So organization level also affected the span of control. The number of the staff can be represented in a pyramid order. The top management will have the least number of staff, and the number will increase as the management level of work decrease. So let's say a company will have maybe one manager or two, and then it will have the chief of operation and the technician. So the example I want to give is at Pengurusan Air Pahang, where I done my internship. So Pipe Temeloh only have one manager, and they have 4 chief of operation, which the chief of operation control the water treatment plant, the mechanical stuff, and then the distribution of the water, and then the quality assurance of the water. So below the chief of operation, they have their own technician and person in charge in order to manage the customer need. So the technician, let's say the distribution unit, unit agihan, they will have 3 teams of repairing the leak of pipe and breaks entire the district. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, back your slide.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, any question?
Hi, may I ask a question?
Yes,
Yes.
Lita.
I want to ask, in one company only can have only one manager, or we can have a few manager?
We can have a few manager. Let's say maybe this manager manage the operation only, and the other one manager can manage maybe the financing or the corporate business.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah. Welcome.
Okay, any additional info from other groups? Ni dia tak nampak ni dia punya span of control. Okay, any additional info from other groups? You section apa? Group berapa?
11.
11. No, what about group 10 and 12? You want to add something? Come on, 10 and 12. Siapa group 10 and 12? Dah middle semester pun tak proaktif ya. Okay, Muhammad Firdaus. Do you want to add something?
Hello.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. In the pyramid. Okay. In the span of control of the pyramid, this one. Actually, they have Okay. The first one. Okay. The top one is the manager, right? By decreasing the level, which is consists of many of employers. So they have actually level which is known as organizational level. From my knowledge of what I understand, each of the levels consists of a leader. The first one is the manager. The second one is the just now Ahmad Chairan said that consists of chief executive, right? So one of the chief executive should be has one leader that will that will guide them, and then the lower one will have a leader, which is that each of the executive will guide people below them, which is they will divide, which is, for example, in the lecturer provided the notes which is have span of, for example, span of 4. So it will increase by multiplying 4 numbers, which is first is manager, second is they will have 4 chief executive. Below them will have 16 of employers, which is they will divide it by 4 employers for each of the executive. That's all for me.
Okay, sekejap Okay. So this is what Firdaus explained just now. So this is the example span of 4 and example of span of 8. So if let's say the organization like this, okay, so the lowest one is like the operator, the employees, okay. So level 1 to 6 is the managerial level, where for example, CEO, under CEO have 4 so these 4 position have to report to the CEO, maybe associate CEO, okay. They have COO, they have CFO, and the big guy, they direct to CEO. And then after the CFO, under CFO or under COO, so CFO is stand for Chief Financial Officer, Financial Officer, COO, Chief of Operations, for example. So under COO have another 4 subordinates. So there is maybe associate or something lah, okay. And then under CFO another 4. So all together will be 16. And then for each of 16, they have another 4 lagi. So until yang level 6 punya manager, the lowest manager, so under 1024, So they have maybe another four engineers or 4 operators under them. Okay, 4 executive. So that is a span of 4 and this is span of 6. Span of 8. But okay, tu tadi yang saya tanya yang kawan you, dia punya factor. Okay, these are the factors that will be affected of the width of span, whether the company would decide 4, 8 or 16 or maybe some more lah. Okay, so width of span, it depends on skills and abilities of the manager. So if the manager have the skill for multitasking and to look only limited for 4 people, so they will limit the width of span until for 4 people. Okay, so next is employee characteristics, because sometimes the employee is very lazy. They have attitude problem, they have behavior problem. Okay, their background of education is low, so that maybe you have to train one by one. So that will also will affect the width of span. Okay. But for example, for lecturers, okay, if let's say we give a list of job or scope, we have lots of jobs or scope. So some of the lecturers don't need to monitor too much. They know what they do. That's why all the lecturers work under flexibility time. At the end, okay, they know when the class, so attend the class and teach and provide all the tests and exam on time. But maybe have some problematic staff, so they have to put under certain observation. So the span of control, or the manager or the director who is control this staff, so they have to monitor the staff lah. Yeah. So it also depend on the employee characteristics and characteristics of the work being done. So this is what I've told you just now. For lecturers, okay, they know how to do the work, so we can leave it. We don't need to monitor. If let's say the lecturers come at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, nobody will care, because as long as the work is being done. Okay. Similarity of tasks. Okay. In the company, they will put the worker, or the executive or the engineer, depends on the similarity of tasks. So they will put under one manager. So for example, quality manager. So under quality manager, they have quality engineer. Okay. Under the purchasing, so they have the purchasing executive. Okay. And then complexity of tasks. It also depends on the complexity of tasks. If let's say for research, R&D. So R&D, they have their own manager. So if let's say the task is very complex, so the number of width of span to become smaller. Okay. And then physical proximity of subordinates. So for example, UTM in Johor, under Johor lah, they didn't put, okay, your director in KL, but they have to monitor the staff in Johor. No. Okay. And then standardization of tasks. So every work or every cabang for the span of control, they already established the standardization of tasks. Right. Okay, so that is width of span affected factors. Okay, next, centralization. Centralization siapa?
My conductor, saya dari group 13.
Centralization and decentralization. Okay. 13 Saya rasa macam grup 13 yang selalu present. Grup 14 tak present
Tak ni first time.
Okay.
So, nampak kan slide saya, Doktor?
Nampak.
Nampak, okay. So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning to Doctor and all my fellow friends. So, today I am from Group 13. I, Muhammad Aiman Hakim, will present to all of you about what is centralization and decentralization. So the definition for centralization is it is a form of organization structure where the decision making capability rests with the top management. So centralization, the decision making is made from a group of top management, and like we see in here, the top management set the rules and the procedure which are for the user of the lower level employees, and they're expected not to carry out the rules and procedure without questioning the authority. And for the decentralization, it is a form of organization structure that function by delegating decision making to multiple teams across geographies. And most of the planning, strategy and decision are taken by the people in the middle and lower level of management. So here are the organization chart for centralization organization. So we can see that the top one is the president or CEO, and under the president there will be the sales marketing operation and the other manager. So what is the advantages of centralization? So the first one is the organization can strictly enforce uniformity of procedure and policies. And the second one, we can reduce the overlapping or duplicate activity and can save costs. And the third one is it will utilize the potential of its employees. And the fourth one, it has a better control on the activities so that the operation will have a consistent operation and will have a uniform decision. So example for centralization organization, it is mainly apply in medium or small size company. And the next one, this is how the decentralization organization chart. So as we can see, decentralization organization, they will have not a region, I think. The geographies company, like we can have a Northeast region, Southeast region, and Midwest region. So under this region, they will have their own team, like sales, marketing, and manufacturing. So the advantage of decentralization organization, they will have a faster decision making and better quality of decision, and it can improve the effectiveness of the manager, and it will provide good exposure to mid and lower level manager. And for decentralization organization, the employee are more driven and have improved morals. So this decentralization organization, it's mainly is applied in large company like Honda, Petronas. So this is the summary of centralization and decentralization. So for the flow of information, centralization, the flow of the information is vertical from the CEO or president until the lower manager. But for decentralization, the flow of information is open and free. and it is for centralization is ideal for small size organization, and decentralization is ideal for large size organization. And for the decision making, for decentralization, it is comparatively slow. For decentralization, it's faster. And the motivation of employee, and the employee in centralization is more motivated compared to decentralization. The employee is highly motivated, and the conflict occur in centralization is likely to occur, and decentralization most likely to occur. This because for centralization, as we know, the decision making is made by one group, only the top management. But for this decentralization, the decision making mainly is made by the mid to lower level manager. So that's why the conflict will mostly occur in decentralization organization, because there will be too many information and idea when come to decision making. And for the burden, the work burden for centralization, the burden is carried by only specific one group, the top management. But for the decentralization, the burden, the work burden is shared among many levels, from the top until the low level manager. So I think that's all from me for my presentation.
Okay, example?
Example, like we can see that for decentralization, we can see for Honda and Petronas. So we can, as we know, Honda, the headquarters are mainly from Japan, right? It's on Japan. Then they will have the small company in Malaysia, in Thailand, and any other world. Like Petronas also, the headquarters is in KLCC, which in Kuala Lumpur. But they will have the other plant, working plant, like we can know is in Terengganu, in Johor, Sarawak, and in Sudan, I think. So that is the example of decentralization. And for centralization, I think like my internship company, which all the decision is made by the CEO of the company. It is just a small size company.
Okay. Any question? Any questions from the floor? Or you want to add something? You want to add something? Okay. Sekejap How the company transition from centralized to decentralized system? How the company transition? What do you mean, Fahim? Oh no, it depends on their strategic management. Yang first topic, we talk about strategic management, we talk about the corporate strategy. So it depends on how they want to manage their operations. how they want to manage their company. Because some leaders, okay, nanti kita akan go to leadership. Leadership kita belum masuk kan? Okay, some leaders, they will prefer micro management. So everything they want to know, everything they want to decide. But some leaders, they just trust their employees. They say, okay, you as a manager, this is your boundary. But if let's say the decision, it involve, for example, $2 million, then you have to refer me and bring into the meeting, something like that. Okay, so similar with we as a researcher, okay, we receive a grant from the government or from the university. So because I involved with purchasing something, so in purchasing process to buy they have decided that below than 5,000, we just compile the quotation from 3 different companies, and then we can select by our own. But if 5,000 to 10,000, we have to find 5 quotation. And then more than 20,000 or 50,000, they have to go into contract or bidding. So all the potential supplier have to bid to win the contract from UTM project, something like that. So that one, they already put, okay, this is the boundary as a project leader to control the money, to control the decision. So similar with the company, okay, if they want to have centralization system, so everything have to report to HQ. They have to do that. But if maybe some of the company, okay, for example in UTM as well, they will mix. Okay, some parts we can do the centralization. So for example, UTM, okay, in terms of registration, everything centralization. Convocation, everything centralization. It should be conducted in Johor, not in KL, even though you are a student from KL. That is centralization. But for decentralization, for example, the quality of the students, UTM says, okay, the minimum pointer is 3.5. So we can take 3.6, 3.7 or 3.8, and some schools only take 3.8 and above. So that is, it belongs to the school, which school or which faculty would like to decide in terms of that particular decision. So that is the mixture between centralization and decentralization system. Contoh sama juga dengan McDonald. If you buy McDonald more than 20 ringgit and then your car has a sticker, so if you go to McDonald's Kudai nearby UTM, every time exceed 20 ringgit, you only receive apa? You akan dapat apa?
Sunday cone.
Mana ada?
Fries.
Only fries. Every time you will get fries only. But if you go to other branch, okay, sometimes I back from hospital to send my little daughter. So we stop at the McDonald nearby Tebrau. For example, last month we get I seldom get fries. Last month we get purple drinks. Okay, and then next time we get ice cream, sundae cone. And then the other one we get apa dipanggil, macam drinks yang lain lah. Okay, so it's multiple options. But ni manager dekat Skudai ni kedekut lah. Every time only fries, tak dapat yang lain. You can try lah. Okay, you can try other frozen cook. frozen coke. Mungkinlah frozen coke kot namanya. Okay. But they give different options to the customer. Not only fries. Alright, okay, that is centralization and decentralization. Okay, next. Next apa?
Formality, group 15.
Okay, formalization. Okay. Group 15.
Good morning to Doctor and my fellow friends. I'm from Group 15 and I would like to present the formalization. What is the formalization? Formalization is a extent to which an organization policy, procedure, job description, and rules are written and explicitly articulate. Formalized structure are those in which there are many written rules and regulations. This structure control employee behaviors using written rules so that employee have a little autonomy to decide on case by case basis. I will show one pictures. Normally formalization is something like when we go to interview for a job and the company or the interviewer will show what is the job scope and what is the job description that the employee need to do or need to follow. But if got someone, your friends in the company ask you to do outside of your job, then you can reject that because that is outside of your job. It's more than the job description. I will also give one example in my internship. My intern in Muar Johor, Micron, Malaysia. Then it have a different departments. For example, got planning departments, manufacturing departments, finance, IT support teams, and so on. So when the manufacturers need some data for the planning departments. For example, he need the data for one machine, how the productivity of that machines, but it need to ask for the supervisors on the planning. So the supervisors can ask one of the members in the planning department to send the data to the requester, to the manufacturers who request the data. Something like that. The job is already written in the papers, so the employee just need to follow the rules. And I will further discuss on the benefit. Formal organizations have an easy to form leadership structures that are placed in consent by the given rules and regulations, thereby eliminating the questions of who is in control of the organizations. And the second is the formalizations also improve the rationalities of the organizations that apply it as it seems to standardize attitudes by by enabling precise predictabilities. The third is it enables a smooth transitions of authorities by enabling abilities and customary successions process with little of no interruptions to the frame of functionings. The fourth is they offer fundamental framework of the divisions of roles and responsibilities. And I will also discuss some of the disadvantages. The court decisions making process is long, thereby hampering faster decisions making and making the organization effective in meetings with politicians. Decisions are made by the leaders who cannot be influenced by the workers who are directly affected by the decisions. And the second, the result of this is that solutions are decided by individuals who not direct knowledge or understanding on the problems. Formalization also discourages and hampers innovative and creativity by the worker as a consequence of rules and regulation that demands of the worker to follow lays down procedures and regulation in the performance of duties. That's all for my presentations.
Alright. Okay, thank you, Rita. Okay, any question? Or you want to add something? Group 14. Sorry, group 16. You want to add on the formalization?
Yes, Doctor.
Yes, please.
For the example, in some airline company, lower level employees have less power to solve a customer problem as they are constrained by strict stringent rule, and sometimes the problem is not written in the guideline provided by company. And other example is Huawei has a high formalization. If highest up make any rule, the employees have to follow them without question. Some of the rule are employees cannot use their logic and their creativity to
Dia tak
perform
adalah
their task.
follow without question tu tak adalah.
Ah,
Just the structure of the organisation is high formalization lah.
yeah.
High
Okay.
specialized.
Yeah.
Okay, lagi?
Itu saja.
Okay. Tadi you bagi apa? Huawei
Huawei.
maknanya oh, Huawei. Oh, okay. Where do you get the information of Huawei?
What itu?
Where do you get
Through
the
internet.
information about? Through internet.
Through
Alright.
internet.
So you put the Huawei structure in your slide?
Not. Just
Okay,
example only.
If let's say you can get the structure of the Huawei through internet, and then you just print screen and then provide together in your slides lah. So
Okay.
it's a good input for other students.
Okay.
Alright, so finish lah our organizational design. Okay, cuma for Lita, okay, Lita, your slide for benefits tadi, try to put it in not in apa kita panggil, in long sentence. Try to put it in point form.
Oh, okay, boleh Doctor. Faham.
Okay. Because if you want to improve your presentation skill, so you have to put in point form, and then so the audience can catch the key point of what you are trying to present. If you put in words, so their eyes is jumble around, you know, where is the key point? What are you trying to say? And then it takes a longer time to focus what are you trying to present. Okay, so that is a tips for your presentation in the future. Alright.
Okay, thank you Doctor.
Okay, welcome. Okay, sekejap Okay, next we go for the contemporary organizational design. And then when you present, try avoid to read try to explain without reading, and then your intonation also have to up and down, not monotonous. Okay. Similar when you present for your PSM letter lah. Because don't be shocked if let's say you work outside and then suddenly, oh, why everyone is a good presenter? Because they have trained. Every day engineer have to present and then have to defend your own project. Okay, apa tadi saya nak tunjuk? Okay. So this is a common organizational designs. So we call it as traditional designs. So traditional designs is simple structure. So we have low departmentalization, wide spans of control, centralized authority, little formalization, so on and so forth. And functional structure is under departmentalization. This is we already discussed. Okay, divisional structure is composed of separate business units or divisions with limited autonomy, okay, under the coordination and control the parent corporation. It depends on division, okay, or business unit, right? So this is the strength lah. Okay, we also already look and we discuss most of the structure. Okay. Okay, now we go for the contemporary organizational design. So contemporary, okay, we have 4. Team structures, matrix and project structures, boundaryless organization, and last one, I think last one, virtual organization or network organization. Oh, kita ada modular as well. Okay. Okay, for team structure, it's the entire organization is made up work groups or self-managed teams of empowered employees. So for example, in one company, okay, this is normally for project. In one company, under one company, they will give the project. So you may involve with Six Sigma project in the future. Okay, so when you involve in Six Sigma project or Kaizen project, if let's say you are assigned by the company or by your manager to be a project leader, so you will work in your team. So under your team, you have to know who is your leader, who is the assistant, who is the financial controller, and the members, the other members. So it depends on work group, okay, and you have to manage. So the leader have to manage when the meeting should be conducted, on top of your doing other jobs, your routine jobs. Okay, so that is team structures. Similar with us, okay, we as a lecturer, even though we have to report to our director, but we also have to come up with our team for our research. So we for example, I conducted right now the active project is 2 projects, and I am the project leader. Okay, so under my project leader is my students. So one big project I will divide into PhD students, master student, and undergraduate students in order to finish all the projects within 2 or 3 years. So we divide the project, and then we also have a team member. So okay, for example, I am the that is my if let's say I am the project leader, but at the same time I am also the project member. So I involved with Asian NCAP project with UTM KL team. Okay, so in UTM KL team, we have my friend have a spin-off company. So under her company, they involved with Asian NCAP project. So they will do all the experiment. They will hire the students to collect the data, and then once they collect the data, they will pass the data to me for me to do the data analysis. So even though I am in the JB, but I involved with other projects in KL. So the organization of the project is based on team structures. Okay. Okay. And then second, we have matrix and project structures, where it specialized from different functional departments are assigned to work on projects led by project managers. So matrix and project participants have 2 managers, and in project structures, employees work continuously on projects, moving on to another project as each project is completed. So this, if let's say you work under project management, project managers. Maybe in the future, you involve and then you work as a project engineer. So you are a project engineer, you will involve in several projects at the same time. So maybe 1 or 2, okay? So you will have maybe if let's say you involve with 2 projects, so your project managers will be 2 project managers, because you will work based on projects. So after the project is completed, then you will move to other project led by other project manager. So that is matrix. Okay. So this is the example of matrix organization. So for example, in one project, it has to involve with R&D, it has to involve with marketing, customer service, human resource, finance, and information system. So for each of the project or each of the product will involve all of this entity department. Okay. So after you complete this project, product 1 or project 1, and then you may support with other project 2. So for project 1, maybe 1 project manager, project 2, other project manager. Okay. But it's solely based on project. Okay, next is boundaryless organization. Boundaryless organization is a normally there is no unstructured organizational design lah. So lately the organization will prefer for boundaryless organization. Okay, they try to eliminate the chain of command because they try to give the trust to the employees, and has limitless spans of control because sometimes if let's say you have many projects, so you have to hire many project engineers together to work for your team. Okay. Okay. Use empowered teams rather than departments. So they don't based on the department, but based on who will work together with you. Okay. And then eliminates external boundaries. Use virtual network or modular organization structures to get closer to stakeholders. So you can interact with stakeholders directly without the external boundaries. Okay. So this is the boundaryless organization. So how to remove the external boundaries? We will do the virtual organization, where an organization that consists of a small core of full-time employees and that temporarily hire specialized to work on opportunities that arise. So if let's say you have a project or product that you are trying to innovate, okay, so there is no company has been set up, just a virtual organization. Okay. So you have full-time employees, but very small, and then you hire other specialized on the project for specific project, only for temporary. Okay, so for example, okay, I bought handbags through online. Okay, have you heard about selection.com? Pernah dengar tak?
Tak. No.
Okay, yang perempuan-perempuan bolehlah check. Okay, yang lelaki kalau nak check nanti dah nak kahwin nanti, you bolehlah check selection.com, nak beli handbag untuk hantaran. Okay, selection.com is actually ordinary, there has been established by PS, personal shopper. Okay, Puan Rafidah. So Puan Rafidah ni, previously she was the personal shopper in Canada and US because she studied in Canada. So during her study, so dia jadilah personal shopper. So they start doing the video online, and then they start to get order and then buy the handbag and then post from Canada to Malaysia. So afterwards, after she lived in Canada and then she moved to America with her husband, and then she also do the same. So now, since she's been the PS, personal shopper, for a long time, I think about 8 years. And then afterwards, they decided to back home to Malaysia. They decided to back home to Malaysia, and then they set up, firstly, they set up a virtual online. They just promote through online, through Facebook, through Instagram, okay? Because they have a small stocks of the handbag that they bring in from UK, from the Canada and US. And then after she established the customer, so customer dah makin ramai, so she opened outlet. So she opened outlet. So she hire, at the first time she hire only 2 workers, and then now I think she got more than 5 workers lah, including photographer, including model dan sebagainya. Okay. And after she get 1 million followers, so afterwards dia dah start, maknanya dia dah besarkan lagi business. So they started to temporarily hire specialists. So it's not yang specialist, but for his business structure, she started to hire anyone would like to work with a selection. So have to register as the selection business partner, SBP. So SBP ni have to commit, okay, every month have to do the sale, promote with other friends to friends through online or through physical. So they will get commission from there. And then when the SBP established, Puan Rafidah opened another option based on referral program. Referral program means, okay, we as a customer, we also can give the referral, invite other colleagues or other friends to buy using our own the customer link, so that the customer also will get a rebate 30 ringgit, something like that. So that is the virtual organization. They don't have a very physical organization, but it's all virtual. Just register online and then we just promote with our friends. So our friends will buy and then we will get the rebate. Okay. So that is virtual organization. So they remove the external boundaries. Okay, and then network organization. Ini pun sama juga. Network organization, because for virtual organisation dia kecil je kan. So lama-lama dia akan jadi besar. Bila become besar, so there will be the network organisation. So a small core organisation that outsource its major business functions in order to concentrate what it does best. So kalau tadi hanya temporary hire specialist to promote the products, but for network ni they started to outsource. Tu yang dia makin lama makin besar, dia dah start outsource lah. And then modular organisation, a manufacturing organisation that use outside suppliers to provide product components for its final assembly operations. So ini pun dah makin banyak company adopt this modular organisation. Okay, and then in fact Proton pun they also adopt modular organisation. For example, kalau dulu the engine just ask the outside suppliers to do it and then send the components for the final operations. Okay, Dyson also do the modular apa kita panggil yang company SKP buat lain. Okay, yang saya tak ingat nama company, start daripada M. Yang tu buat plastic parts. So afterwards they do all the final assembly at different place. So that is based on modular. Okay, Proton with Mitsubishi. Mitsubishi buat apa, Rita?
Engine Proton Inspira.
Okay. So they ask the other suppliers to do the engine, and then the engine will send to main plant, and then they will do the final assembly operations. So that is based on the modular. Okay. Right, but that one actually are still physical lah. But right now when you see other products, they may move to virtual, not 100% physical. Okay, and then sometimes why they ask China to process the product and then send to Malaysia, so it's more global. That is network juga lah, right? Okay, so this is the organizational design challenge where we're trying to keeping employees connected, okay, widely dispersed and mobile employees. So right now everyone, our bosses can contact us 24 hours. Okay, I used to receive a call at 4 o'clock in the morning. So at that time macam saya okay je, memang saya kerja pun. Okay, so at 4 o'clock in the morning. Tapi kalau macam ada some workers, they cannot stand with that. Because for me at that time I work and I used to work with my boss. So dia tahulah anytime 4 o'clock in the morning pun dia okay je kalau contact saya. Okay. And then second, one more thing. Last week rasanya I have read a news, ada one country they already state the decision, they come up with the statement, any employer who contact the worker in the weekends can be reported to, untuk further action. Sebab nowadays kan mental health has been increasing kan, because it seems like okay, anytime, any days, any weekends, any holiday, boss can contact the worker. But yang company, saya tak ingat negara mana. Siapa yang ada baca? Tak ada siapa yang baca?
Tak ada.
Tak ada?
Tak ada.
Yang ni tak baca news ke apa? Negara Spain ke mana? Portugal. It's now illegal for bosses to tax workers after hours in Portugal. Ni pun CNBC pun ada tulis, Portugal bans bosses from contacting employees outside working hours. Let's say forward. Davosia ni kena rajin-rajin lah baca news related about work. Ni you punya SEM. Lita siap. Siap cari. Okay, selection.com. Boleh lah. Yang perempuan-perempuan boleh lah ni beli handbag coach. Right. Okay. So next, building a learning organization. Okay. Because as an organization, we have to keep updated and then make sure the workers is update lah in terms of knowledge. So there will be building learning organization and then managing global structural issues. So global, sometimes we can open, okay, for example, and then in fact UTM also have a program in Sudan. So it's global structural issues. We have students outside. So how we want to conduct the class, how we want to conduct the projects, how we want to monitor the research, okay? And then in fact for me, I have students in Canada. One in Canada, one in Indonesia. Actually 2 in Indonesia because one is co-supervisor. Okay, so we have to manage the global structural issues in terms of time difference, in terms of culture, okay? And then in fact in 2011, when I back from UK, because UK, the nature of the communication is soft-spoken with very polite, we try to explain clearly, okay, dia macam highly educated sikit lah. And then suddenly when I back and I have to teach the supply chain management for master's degree. And then at that time, I have 2 sections for Iranian students. And then the nature or the culture of Iranian ni is more aggressive. Because kita dah establish our background of education in the UK, which is more soft, more polite. Okay, the way we explain in a proper words, even though we get angry, we also give a proper words. Okay? But then when you deal with Middle East people, they have different culture, and then I'm a little bit shocked sikit lah at that time. So that is how we manage the global structural issues. Okay, in terms of communication is different, and then if they want to, because Iran ni dia macam mana kita panggil dia more aggressive, and then if let's say dia akan jadi macam kiasu sikit tau, macam Singaporean sikit. So itulah yang ada perbezaan cultural dekat situ. So we have to adapt that lah. And then after 1.5 year, after I know all Iranian like this, and then afterwards I mix. I also have PhD students, and then actually some of the PhD students is not too aggressive. So it depends on the character, but mostly they are aggressive. So we have to give the explanation. Even though we talk very polite, but then afterwards they will slow down. If not, dia macam cakap macam nak gaduh macam tu. Padahal dia memang karakter dia macam tu. Okay. Alright. So yang ni continuous learning, adapt, and ni kita dah cerita lah. Okay, so I think that's all for organizational structure. So any question on organizational structure? Okay, kita check you punya schedule. Sekejap This week is week 5, betul?
Betul.
Betul.
Week 5.
Week 5, okay. So we have to complete motivating employees and leadership. Okay, and then have I told you about your assignment?
Belum.
Okay. Your assignment, okay. Siapa yang boleh cari, kita ingat kita tengok movie sekali lah kot. Siapa yang boleh cari movie yang Deepwater Horizon tu? Deepwater Horizon berapa lama?
Satu jam 50 minit, Doktor.
1 jam 50 minit. Kita kelas kalau kita set ni hari apa? Hari Selasa 2 jam je. Kalau nak tengok sama-sama and then kita nak ulas sama-sama macam tak cukup masa lah. Tapi sebenarnya lagi best kalau macam kita tengok sama-sama.
Betul?
Betul.
Okay macam ni, kita set kena cari hari lain lah kot. Sebab kita tak nak ambil masa lecture maksimum 2 kali speed. Apa maksud dia? Mancia?
Buat laju. Laju kan dia macam. Laju kan dia.
Ada semua orang dah pernah tengok ke belum?
Belum.
Dah tengok.
Dah tengok.
Ada dah tengok, kita tengok lagi sekali. This one is individual.
Semua je tahu.
Ramai yang tak pernah lagi. Okay, seorang cari, nanti kita set masa hari apa kita nak tengok sama-sama. You set hari apa? Sebab kalau ambil waktu lecture, kita takut kita punya masa lecture tu terganggu.
Malam-malam.
Malam, okey, malam Ahad, Isnin, Selasa saya ada meeting. Ahad saya ada meeting. Ahad, Isnin, Selasa saya meeting. Rabu, Khamis okey. Jumaat kena tengok schedule sama ada saya ada kelas apa offshore ataupun kelas offshore pula, kelas space ataupun tak.
Khamis malam.
Khamis malam relax sikit.
Khamis okey.
Khamis okey. Sebab esok ni tak ada kelas.
Sebab tak ada kelas kan? Okey. Khamis, kita tengok Khamis ni saya ada apa. Okey, Khamis malam ni boleh? So, Khamis malam ni and then siapa yang willing untuk download the movie? So that you just streaming so everyone can watch together lah. So nanti sambil-sambil kita tengok tu kita ulas. Lepas tu nanti you kena buat summarization and then adalah soalan-soalan nanti saya akan bagi. Siapa yang willing nak download movie? Ya, itu assignment. So assignment tu lepas kita tengok and then I only give you 1 day to finish the report sebab nanti during the movie tu kita akan discuss sama-sama. Okay. Sebab saya pun dah lama tak tengok so kena recall balik. So bila kita dah discuss sama-sama and then you do the short report about the movie that's regarding on the safety, regarding on the ethical, and then adalah leadership lagi kat dalam tu. So ada banyak isu dekat situ. It's not about engineering management but they are more to safety lah. Tapi sebab kita nanti lepas motivating and leadership kita akan masuk safety. So kita tengok movie dulu. So nanti daripada movie tu nanti kita akan belajar apa pasal safety yang lain-lain tu. So at least you have some ideas lah on that. Okay, Khamis ni siapa yang nak willing download movie? You all bukan terror ke? Download movie ni.
Internet tak laju nak stream, madam.
Terror, tapi internet tak ada.
Satu tengok
nak
online
stream
je
tu
lah.
susah.
Wifi UTM lah.
Saya cuba check Telegram
Wifi
doktor.
Siapa ada UTM?
Tak, you download ataupun you bagi link, so saya download. Saya pun tak kerti sangat ni nak download, biasanya husband yang buat. Okay, sekejap. Ni ada kawan you forward ni. Kita try sikit. Sekejap. Tapi ada virus ke tak ni? Dia streaming je kan?
Betul doktor, ni streaming je.
Ni apa? Continue installation
Stop
ke apa?
madam. Close.
Close je tab tu.
Ni close. Ni?
Banyak ads lah.
Oh ni
Cancel.
ni betul ke tak ni? Ni
Betul
cancel.
betul. Doktor just close je tab ni semua.
Tutup ni semua.
Tutup je tab ni.
Saya tak ada Netflix. Saya bukannya kacau movie.
Asal map Netflix tu.
Netflix
Kalau
nanti
tak
boleh share.
Ke nak doktor saya nak saya present je.
Kalau saya hantar file dekat tele, doktor boleh tak doktor?
Netflix boleh share ke?
Doktor,
Ha. Okey, sekejap.
kalau saya hantar file dekat tele, okey tak? Doktor download.
File dekat tele, lepas tu saya tak payah download apa-apa ke ataupun macam mana?
Doktor kena download. Tapi file tu macam kira boleh tengok gitulah, offline, lepas download.
Okay, you try hantar dekat tele.
Okay.
Ini banyaknya apa benda ni.
Ada wireless code.
Dia dah klik pun dia akan jadi macam tu.
Masuk task manager je. Tutup semua task.
GG.
Okay. Tak, saya ada ni lagi satu. Dengar tak suara?
Dengar.
Tak apa, nanti kawan you forward dekat apa? Dekat tele. So macam saya try lah. Kalau boleh saya buat. Kalau tak boleh nanti you online stream.
Boleh.
Boleh Siapa yang rumah dia macam laju sikit?
Azam.
Zuhail
So,
bin Yunus.
Available UTM.
Okay, hari Khamis nak pukul berapa? Hari Khamis set masa.
9.
9.30.
Ada pukul apa?
9 kot doktor.
9.
9, 10, 11. Pukul 11. Boleh lah. 8.30. 8.45 lah kot. Sebab nanti macam isyak apa semua, lepas tu nak makan gitu gini 8.30 baru ni kan. So macam kita nak setting 8.45 boleh?
Boleh.
Boleh.
So 8.45 lah. Okay, 8.45 we will watch Deepwater Horizon and then prepare your paper semualah. Okay? Alright. So nanti hari Khamis pagi tu we will try to complete motivating employees and leadership. Kalau tak dapat leadership tu we will bring forward for next week. Alright, so that's all I think. We end our session today. Okay, Assalamualaikum and have a good day. Bye.
Salam,
Thank you, madam.
Thank you doktor.
Bye.
Thank you madam.
Yep.